loops it down there, and wide open. Then the ball is knocked loose. The catch is made, and then the ball is knocked out of his hand.
From Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
You are lifting weights?
Correct. Does it not look like it?
Oh, the ball is free. Scooped up by Stroud. Circles, throws, complete on a busted play. Hutchinson.
It's Justin Herbert. Yeah, you both right here.
I love this shit. I'm gonna smile all day. Hey, cause it's fun when I whoop a man's ass.
Welcome back to the Bolts Podcast. My name is Nick Cates. My pronouns are he and him. And I've been having a good week. I think a lot of us Chargers fans have been having a good week. I don't know. What do you think?
I think my name is Aryan Ori. And I think my pronouns are he and him. And I think I've been having a great week as well. It has been quite a week.
It's been a lot of fun. The Chargers defeating the Steelers 25-10. What?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not an O-line.
Who cares?
Neither team. Neither team had an O-line. I thought that would be funnier than it actually was. I think it was pretty funny.
No, I think it worked. I think I like. Gotta laugh at me.
I think cutting you off.
What do you think I would have? Were you expecting me to like actually split in half or fall over or something like that?
I think cutting you off while you were saying the final scorecard, I think that was funny.
That was funny.
Just to say that dumb joke, yeah, I like it.
It's hilarious.
Go on now.
Well, we got a run game working again, and I did an entire video on this yesterday. Bolts Cricket Podcast, TikTok, follow us. But it's largely because, and we were talking a lot last week about how there weren't enough outside runs, and that was part of the problem. We had twice as many outside runs this week as we did against the Titans. I think we went from 6 to 13 or something like that, maybe 7 to 13. So significantly more. But more than that, we were able to successfully run the ball out of 11 personnel, which if you don't know what 11 personnel means, it just means you have one running back, one tight end on the field at any given time and 3 wide receivers. And it's a versatile personnel set, right? You could easily run, you could easily pass with those players on the field. And I think that just sort of that degree of subterfuge, because I feel like the line on the Chargers for a while, especially in terms of the run game, has been like, we know what you're going to do. We know you're going to bring in a bunch of big guys and try and smash the ball at the middle. And teams are like, okay, well, we also have big guys and we'll just stick them in front of your big guys. And that's basically what's been happening. And I think that this transition to 11 personnel, I went back and watched the film, basically every run play, I think every single run play in this game that went for more than 5 yards was out of 11 personnel. And it's sort of like, I think that it's amazing that like in this era of the NFL where it's like nothing is what you're being shown, and you know, so many coaches are known for disguising things out the wazoo. Even our own defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, his entire defense is built, especially his pass rush, is built on subterfuge. It's funny to see Greg Roman finally be like, oh hey, we could play in this like kind of balanced personnel setting, and that actually makes all my inside runs work because they have to respect the threat of the pass.
Yeah. Yes. This is one of the things that I thought was an interesting point that I was thinking about. You know, Aaron Rodgers is now 40 years old, right? I mean, he's, you know, I think there are two things wrong with the Steelers that I saw when we, you know, whatever, 4 days ago. Firstly, I think it's just, obviously Rodgers just didn't have it that night, right? He was just he was really off his game. And I think one of the reasons is that I think now, finally, his age is catching up to him a little bit. And I could see that in, you know, not wanting to get hit, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think Brady had this as well towards the end of his career, where it's like, you're kind of like, you got this like wince almost, or this grimace right before you throw. And and that's why he overthrew so many of his you know, deep passes. And the second thing is, of course, that the Steelers have trust issues with their receivers, right? Which is why they're playing 2 or 3 tight ends even, and stacking their O-line, because they do not have trust in these receivers. And I think that's a big problem.
The 2 and 3 tight ends is kind of like Greg Roman versus Greg Roman. Like nobody's. disguising shit. Maybe that's why it was such a defensive battle. The defenses were like, dude, we know what you're doing. Like do anything else. Come on, man. This is so boring.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why I was impressed that we even got 25 points. But I think a lot of that had to do with the Steelers, because we only scored the one touchdown. Am I right? The McConkey touchdown.
No, we had at least two because
Or did we have
Kamani
two?
had a touchdown as well.
Oh, that's right. Kamani. So Kamani and McConkey's touchdown. So 14 points in TDs
And 3 field goals and a safety, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think that some of it was down to the Steelers. I want to go back to your point about Rodgers because I thought that I didn't think he was absolutely terrible. I definitely agree that I think his age is catching up. He's no good mobile. A lot of these throws, he had to do some of the same pocket movement that he was better at earlier in his career, and that, the type of stuff you see Justin Herbert having to do all the time, and he just wasn't able to set his feet and make those throws. I think there were also a lot of really, really, really good plays being made by the Chargers secondary. I just released a video about Dante Jackson, and one of Dante's reps, he's matched up against Roman Wilson in cover 2 man, and Rodgers has Roman Wilson running across her. And if you ever played Madden or college football or any of these games, that against cover 2 man, it destroys it because the man coverage element, as well as the 2 deep safeties, there's just nobody in the middle of the field reliably unless that one guy who's manned up against your crosser, is a god and completely locks the guy down the whole way. And Dante Jackson managed to do it. So you can't really blame Rodgers. Rodgers didn't make a great throw, but Dante Jackson almost picked it off. It wasn't even. And so I think that he played amazing. RJ Mickens played amazing. Nico Reed made one play the entire game, but it was so good that people remember it more than almost any of the other plays he made, which I love.
That was actually unbelievable. I couldn't believe he flew through the air to break that up. It was awesome.
Yep, and Rodgers did not make a mistake on that ball. That was just an amazing play.
Yeah.
So I'm really, especially after having attended the Colts game, which was such a shitstorm, I think that watching the way the defense has responded in each of the last 3 games now, it's amazing to consider, but it has been 3 games. I think I was commenting on Charged Up, Jay from Charged Up Podcast. Shout out, Jay. I appeared on a podcast with him a couple of weeks ago. I was commenting on one of his videos, and I was just it's 12 points in 3 weeks, I believe. If you take away the kick return touchdown and the interception return touchdown from last week, I guess the Vikings had one in garbage time too. But outside the Vikings and Steelers both had one in garbage time. But outside of that, the defense has given up 12 points in 3 weeks. That's the number 1 scoring defense of the NFL. That's what we were used to last year. I think that the confidence is way back. And I think that a lot of it has to do with Daiyan Henley coming back from his illness and being a lot better. He has been the player we expected a lot more for the last 2 games. And he once again led the team with 6 tackles. Although I do need to also shout out Denzel Perryman. They were talking about him on the broadcast. This was one of the most entertaining things. Every single one of his tackles was perfect form. It was amazing. He was doing I don't think there are probably any youth football players that listen to this show. If there are, you have very cool parents. Not yet.
Yes.
But if so, you really should go watch Denzel Perryman tackle some guys the other from Sunday night, because that was excellent. That is exactly textbook how you do it. So that was great to see as well.
Yeah, I was just on the topic with Daiyan Henley. I just thought the read, his read of the game to force the pick to RJ Mickens, I thought that had a lot to do with him as well. Yep. I thought that was classic football. It was a quality read.
Well, and he needs to be able to have a leadership role and direct the defense like that, because that's his job as the green dot linebacker. And it's good to see him really continuing to mature into that role and excel in that role. because we've all seen how good of a player he can be, and I think that we're really seeing just how much impact that illness had on him, because now that he's gaining the weight back and really getting back into the shape he was in beforehand, the difference is night and day. And he wasn't, he was holding his own after that had happened, but it was nowhere near what kind of we were expecting.
Right.
Let's go back to the offense really fast. Justin was 20 of 33 for 220 yards and a touchdown. And he was sacked 5 times, which does suck, but considering their defensive line and our offensive line, I think that could be a lot worse.
I mean, I guess it could be. I just think some of the hits he took again had me really worried. Like on the ankle, you saw him limping a couple times as well, which worried me, especially the one that he got hit from behind.
The Jim Harbaugh update on that was that he is still a beast. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I did see him towards the end of the game after taking like 3 or 4 of those hits. I think all 5 of them actually. He ran the ball downfield for like a 11 or 13-yard gain, something like that. So it was good to see that he was mobile, but it's just one of those things. I'm like, is it a ticking sort of thing? Is it gonna
like the Broncos hit him like 16 times? It's fine. Like they'll probably hit him another 16 times and we'll win by 3 touchdowns. If the Ponies play anywhere near the way they played against the Raiders against us, we're gonna absolutely hose them. As a brief aside, I think it's very funny how the Ponies have co-opted, like they have gotten like the satanic deal that the Chiefs had last year, where they would just suck ass and win games anyway.
Yeah, did you see, by the way? First of all, I've been seeing some of the TikToks on our page, and I go back through them, and then the Bo Nix one, I saw that whole exchange, I think, with that guy. With Bo Nix, he was like, Bo Nix is great, whatever, and Chargers suck or whatever it was. But Bo Nix, by the way, he's up and moving around. I think he was at practice for the first time in quite some time. It would have
been probably better for them if he wasn't. I swear, maybe you can call me haterade, man, but like, Bo Nix does not get enough hate at all. I really think. Like I was distracting myself by going through Next Gen Stats yesterday, and I believe of all quarterbacks in the league, Bo Nix has on average the 3rd most wide open receivers, and he still sucks ass. And I believe Geno Smith is also in the top 3 there, which should tell you how bad both of them actually are. It's kind of insane, but I really think Bo Nix is worse because I have looked, like I don't watch his tape regularly, but the tape I have watched, like he biffed a read option, dude. I understand that like you or I can biff read options, but he has been doing that play probably since he was 8 years old. Like Ariane, would you biff a cover drive in the slot? Like unlikely.
Never. Could never
right? Happen. That is the, and it's more like, it's not even like biffing a cover drive in the slot. Like it's if you like went to cover drive, but then accidentally decided to leave it and you lost your wicket that way. Like,
yeah.
Not executing a play like that correctly at the NFL level is just embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't think he's having a very good season. I think a lot of people have, like a lot of analysts have touched on this as well. It's not that, it's they're winning in spite of having like a pretty average to below average offense in general. The Broncos, that is.
I would dispute that in certain ways. I think that their offensive line and their running game is really strong. And
you think their O-line is strong?
It's stronger than ours. It's stronger than the Raiders. It's probably the best one in the division. To be quite honest with you. And I mean, the results speak for themselves in terms of the running game because J.K. and R.J. Harvey have been really, really good. I mean, we know J.K. He's a great running back. But beyond that, and they have really good blocking players. Like one of my favorite rookies in the NFL this year is their wide receiver, Pat Bryant, who like single-handedly blocked a touchdown for J.K. in their game against us. Like They have some really, really good players. It's just like I think Bo Nix is so overrated and he is so mid. Like,
But by the way, just so you know, the Broncos are missing Patrick Surtain II, their cornerback. They're missing J.K. Dobbins, and they're missing their inside linebacker, Alex Singleton. So they are kind of they're
they're
kind
on a
of
bye. They're
what's
on a
up?
bye this week. All those guys. Pat Surtain's gonna be back after the bye.
They are, but there is concern that they won't be available for the Chiefs. No, they're not on a bye this weekend.
I thought they were. I'm pretty
November
sure
16th, they play the Chiefs. They
Well,
play the Chiefs this Sunday.
they might be about to get smacked. I don't know. Or maybe they both have the satanic deal and it's going to be like a 3-0 win for one of the two of them.
Like our Pats
And
game last year, or was it 2 years ago?
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we'll have our first 0-0 tie in the NFL since the year 1943. That would actually be awesome. I don't know if these two teams are capable of that kind of awesome. That would be really funny.
That would be what a game that would be to watch. I honestly thought that would be the Browns versus the Jets, but boy,
Yeah.
was that wrong.
I wonder if, I mean, there is a chance that the Broncos defensive line is going to kill Patrick Mahomes. Like,
Yeah.
they're so good. And I think that the Chiefs offensive line may be getting shielded by some of their game strategy. I haven't watched them that much, but I mean,
Why would
I don't
you?
know. Brett, like, they kind of got Coleman cursed a couple of weeks ago because Brett Coleman made this video and he was like, dude, the Chiefs are back. The offense has been played so well. They got fucking sunned by the Bills.
Everyone wants them to be back so badly. Like, it's okay for the Chiefs to have a bad year. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Maybe Brett was doing some reverse psychology. I don't think Brett wants the Chiefs to be back. I think he knows his power. Maybe he Coleman cursed them intentionally.
Perhaps. So even on, again, I've been going through, because my TikTok is like in a way now I'm going through Bulls Cricket podcasts, because a lot of the ones like from a month ago are now coming up on my feed.
Gotcha.
And again, like I went back to I think one of the Harrison Butker videos. Where
Those are our most popular.
yes, and like some of the comments are like, "I'll check. It's week 2. I'll check back in with you in week 10." And I fought the urge like 8 times to be like, checking back in. How are things on your end? And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, you gotta wait until they actually get eliminated, and we all kind of gotta pile on. Like, yeah, that's my one thing with like that one idiotic Ponies fan. Like, it's just like we should be banding together, right? But like, I have the least against the Ponies, right? The Ponies are neither ruining our country, nor have they ever stolen anything from me or committed any petty crime against me, which I had a Raiders fan steal one of my sweatshirts, true story, this season. Ponies have never...
I'm sorry, that's still bizarre to me that happened to you. But yeah, go on.
Dude, the guy said, I'm a Raiders fan. I left... All right, I don't think I told the story on the podcast. So quick story. This was at the Colts game, I believe. I was sitting next to a Raiders fan, and...
First of all, piss off. Like, you don't have to be there. It's the Colts Chargers. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. So, like, I'm sitting next to this Raiders fan. It's near the end of the game. A friend of mine was at the game, so I left my sweatshirt there when I went off to go see him, thinking, like, dude, it's just like it's the seat. They're not going to steal my damn sweatshirt off my seat, right?
That's illegal.
Yeah, exactly. And I come back, and there's no sweatshirt on my seat, and my awesome Bolts smiley face foam finger was a row down from where it was. And I asked the people sitting next to me that were still there, and they were like, oh, do you know the person who was sitting next to you? And I'm like, no. And they're like, he took your sweatshirt. And I'm like, and then I remembered, oh, he's a Raiders fan. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I probably should not have left my sweatshirt unattended in my seat next to a Raiders fan. That's going to happen, right?
Is it? I mean, that's
no,
just
I'm
like,
sorry, man. It is. And I've talked about this. Like, this is why Khalil Mack didn't work out on the Raiders. That dude could never break a car window. He's not that personality. Whereas I don't think, the way our libel laws protects me from saying that, like, I'm pretty sure that Max Crosby has broken car windows today.
We will never know. and I think that saved
Will
us
we
from
never
losing.
know? We could just drive our car to Vegas and be near the Raiders practice facility and just like
And
put in a
then-
hidden dash cam. And if a heavily tatted dude elbows through the passenger side window, I'd just get it fixed and I'd be like, it's like a science experiment, right? It's like the expense of doing that, of collecting that data. Right.
It's
But
the cost of
I would be more surprised if my window wasn't broken than if it was. And I would expect that of any true Raider, not just Max Crosby. Right. But moral of the story, do not leave your property unattended near Raiders fans because, yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, you mentioned buzzword, Mac came up. And back to that safety.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you I don't know if you watched that, because this is like a big thing. It was a big thing for me because like there was a clean pocket to his right and to his left, and he sees Mac coming, and I think I think this is where I don't want to just completely blame it on age, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers is good at mobility in the pocket and normally, but that was like the pivot backwards, like was kind of like that was hard to explain. I mean, obviously he was looking for like a howler downfield, which he didn't have enough time for because Mac broke free like immediately.
And I mean, like Khalil Mack is younger than Aaron Rodgers, and he's a lot bigger than Aaron Rodgers, and he's a lot faster than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he doesn't always look fast next to other NFL quarterbacks, but Aaron Rodgers, like, I'm sorry, the guy, like, he's way more stuck in the mud than he used to be, and that can work if you have the right offense and the right offensive line, but they weren't getting the ball out quick enough. The other thing was, like, he could not throw a reliable slant without somebody dropping it. And in one case, like, Dante Jackson got an interception by just sticking in his zone, and Calvin Austin dropped the ball and just went right to
That was
Dante.
also, I mean, that was like, I think even on the broadcast they were talking about this is why they don't trust their receivers. Like, they don't want to throw the ball. That's why they're running the ball so much, and he's relying on side and short passes. And in a way, you got to feel for Rodgers because he's kind of working the best he can with what he has, but also he can take part of the blame on this game.
I'm sorry, I put that a little bit on the general managership of the Steelers.
That's okay. I
as
forgive
well,
you.
because like I'm sorry, our team we had too many wide receivers on our team going into we literally had too many. We had to release somebody who was good enough to be on the NFL roster, Dale Von Campbell, who was good enough to be on our NFL roster normally because we had too many receivers that were top tier.
Again, we overcorrected because a couple of years ago we only had Eckler. Which, by the way, I want to get into.
And we only had Ladd last year, but now they can't cover anybody. And now this is why Ladd had said, by the way, this is a great segue into Ladd had his biggest game of the year with 4 receptions for 170 yards and a touchdown. And this is why Ladd is finally really, really showing out. It's also, by the way, why Q was having such big games earlier in the season, because teams were still overcompensating covering Ladd, and it just left Q wide open.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Because last year it worked. Because
you
don't have to really cover Q because he ain't catching anything. But I was gonna say I had a quote written down that I really wanted to say on the podcast, which is I just love to watch Q suck up these balls. Yep. I mean, every time, like now when I tune in, it's like, oh, QJ's like, and do you see one of the moves? Like he stopped short and then he pivoted. He's really come into his own. I can see that the first season's kind of worn off, and I think he really is coming into his own.
Not all of this is some of why I was really frustrated with the coaching of him, especially in the first season. It took them 3 seasons to realize you should just throw this guy a lot of screen passes. Like, regardless of what else you do with him, you should throw him a lot of screen passes because he's amazing with the ball in his hands. And like he has 2 eyes and 2 hands. He can catch a fucking screen pass.
Right.
So like, the one thing about Greg Roman is he does not understand the value of his screen game correctly enough, because we would be screening one to Scott Matlock every game, and we would be screening like 6 to Q every game if we were doing this fully correctly. We would have dude, I want Scott Matlock on like a bubble screen. Like I might buy Madden and just do some of the most crackpot NFL strategy you've ever seen with Scott Matlock, because they didn't give me Steve-O Klotz, so I have to make do with the man that I have, but I'm unsatisfied with how Greg Roman just refuses to give him the ball on his screen. But I was so glad to see they must have 3 or 4 times they must have screened the ball to Q, and that's something they should be doing all the, like, just as like if you want 7 free yards.
Yeah,
You can probably throw that one out there 5 times a game, and you'll get 7 free yards, and that's huge. That's an integral part of the playbook.
I think he finally unlocked that this game. I think he was like, "Oh shoot, this is working really well."
Yeah.
It's been also, I want to talk about the Kimani Vidal. He had a pretty good game as well, I'd say. Although the stats kind of don't really reflect it with the 3.8 yards per carry. But again, he had 25 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown. So and he,
I think it's relative. You're facing T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward, and they weren't even the best. Keanu Benton was the best of the Steelers' defensive line. So that is a really stout defensive line that the Steelers have. I was extremely impressed that we had any kind of, especially considering how we played against the Titans, but that's the Chargers for you.
Right. I wanted to ask you about this because I talked to somebody recently on set. Shout out Jacob. He mentioned to me that he sees a lot of Eck in Vidal. Talk to me about what you think of that. I mean, I will just say that they
wear the same number. I mean, that might be a lot of it. I hate to say it. They're not. Vidal is a very good receiving back, and that was what he was drafted to be. I just don't remember Eck being so much of a bell cow running back like this. Like most of Vidal's been doing so many inside runs, and Eck was a screen, outside run, toss sweep type of player. And so, and he was also like, he was just a bell cow in a different way. Like I wouldn't even say a bell cow. Like Eck was like, they just threw him into the, like, it was like they put him into a spin cycle on a washing machine. Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know how he survived some of those seasons, and a lot of that was like really, really uninventive Joe Lombardi play calling. To be honest with you,
yes.
But yeah, I definitely see what he's saying.
Right.
I would just say that I think that Vidal he has more skills as a traditional running back, whereas Eck is more of an all-purpose type threat.
Yes, I think I'd agree with that. What's interesting to me is because, one of the other people that kind of broke out along with Kimani Vidal. I can't say Kimani. Kimani. Jesus Christ. Kimani Vidal. The other person that kind of broke out along the same time, at least,
I don't like it.
At least in my field of vision, was Jared Patterson. And yesterday he only got 1 play, which I thought was interesting. 1 play for a yard.
I mean, that's just rotational stuff. I thought Jared Patterson was really good against Tennessee. I think he's a really good running back. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that they probably are. I think when Kimani got going, they probably just wanted to keep feeding the hot hand. But I think the plan is to run with them for 1 more week, and they're going to activate Omarion after the bye. So,
oh god, that would be nice.
Well, if we can give him the same kind of blocking that we've been giving Kimani, and
that's right. And
God forbid, like a little 11 personnel for him, so he doesn't have to run into 6 guys that are the size of refrigerators. We still can't tackle him, which is the crazy thing about Omarion. But maybe he won't get hurt if, like, we do a little bit of the 11 personnel stuff and put him up against people who are slightly closer to his own size.
Yeah. What about so Gadsden dropped a couple of catches. What are your thoughts?
Whatever.
Is he done? Is his career over?
Nope.
Is that it?
No, it's fine.
Are we done?
I don't care. He's a Charger. That's his initiation. It was due for him eventually. Whatever. I don't care. It didn't affect things.
Honestly, he's proven himself more than I worthy. I really don't. I also, in all seriousness, was not. I didn't really care.
No. Ladd, every single player on every single Chargers receiver has dropped balls this year. He's just getting in on the fun. He wanted to feel included. So.
It was also like we were kind of watching the Steelers, just like whatever, who cares? Yeah, I can drop a couple now. I'll get them out.
Yeah, exactly. Get them out of our system before the Jaguars, because God knows what the fuck is going to happen with that. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's preview.
It's you know what? It's really good because we go from Aaron Rodgers, a man who does not know how to use psychedelics correctly, to Trevor Lawrence, a man who taught me why I should use psychedelics correctly.
That is, wow. Is he the one who's doing the Little Caesars ad?
Trevor Lawrence? I don't think so.
Okay, I saw a Little Caesars ad that
Maybe he's doing a Little Caesars ad. I don't
was
know.
very convincing, and it looked kind of like him. But anyway, that's that. Chargers v Jags. What are your thoughts?
Well,
Who do we-
the vibes couldn't be much lower, I would say, overall.
Yeah.
I mean, we might win. I don't know. I will say, when I sort of intuitioned my way through the rest of this season, this was one of two games I had us losing. So, like, emotionally, I'm prepared. I'm absolutely prepared for us to drop this. I've had 2 Jags games since I've been a Charger. I think it's only 2 Jags games since I've been following the Chargers, and both of them went absolutely terribly. And the first one was our first time at SoFi Stadium together.
That was
And
a traumatic experience.
basically the opposite of the last game we went to at SoFi Stadium together.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That was like the that one and the Saints game last year, like my 2 favorite core memories.
No.
But we have, by popular consensus, we are favored to win this game.
I don't care. I don't care. We were up 27-0. I don't care.
That's true.
Until I see the Chargers beat the Jaguars, my vibes are gonna be low.
Mm-hmm.
I hope nobody gets injured. That's my goal for this game more than anything else. And if we win, I'll be really happy. But I'm setting my expectations like, basically below the floor because that's kind of the note the Jags left me with the last time. And yeah, I know the coach is different and the receivers are different and shit, but I don't care. I know Travis Hunter's out for the season. I don't care. I don't care. They could do anything to us.
I want to take a look at some stats. Some real hard-hitting stats. Real hard-hitting stats prior to the game.
Are you gonna own me with facts and logic?
I'm going to just rattle them off, and I'm going to let you analyze them. Okay? Let's look at the Chargers offense. Okay?
Okay.
Total yards per game for the Chargers offense, 368.5. Points per game, 24. Passing yards per game, 245. Rushing yards per game, 123. Kind of surprised by that. A little low for my liking. Chargers defense, total yards per game allowed, 280. Points allowed per game, 20.3. Passing yards allowed per game, 174.2. And rushing yards allowed per game, 106. That's actually higher than I thought. Let's move to the Jags.
I think your judgment of rushing yards is a little bit off. 106 rushing yards per game against is very good for an entire game.
It is very good, but
that means all the running backs. That means all the running backs and the quarterback are doing 106 yards per game, and 122 is a D. I think that has to be better than we were doing last year because we were not doing that well in the run game last year.
Surely. No. I'm just surprised I'm just surprised because I've been watching the games and I thought we weren't allowing the run even that much. So I'm surprised. But anyway, Jags offense, and then you sink your teeth into it. Total yards per game, 324.9. So should I compare them? Do you remember what our stat was?
That's the Jags offense?
Yeah, Jags offense.
324 yards per game?
Yes.
Jeepers crepes. Okay.
Points per game, 22.8 compared to our 24. Passing yards per game, 204.6 compared to Chargers 245.4. And rushing yards per game is comparable, 120.3 versus the Chargers 123. Jaguars defense, total yards allowed per game, 344.6. Points allowed per game, 24.4.
But it's the Chargers.
Yes. Passing yards allowed per game, 252.9, and then rushing yards allowed per game, 91.7. They're the 5th in the NFL.
I was going to say that's very low for rushing
That's very
yards.
good. That's very low and very good. So, okay, given all this, just ignore your intuition for a second, and just let's look at the numbers, and how does that look? How did you know the numbers?
By the numbers, if we were to face like generic football team or like a football team that was like us, like say we were playing the Vikings and you came in with those numbers, I would feel pretty good. but it's the Jags and it's Trevor Lawrence against the Chargers. I feel that's the thing. I do feel our defense has found consistency in a way that I haven't seen really at all in a long time. So I have a lot of confidence in our defense, and at the same time, that figure for their defense is terrible. And we saw the struggles that Pittsburgh had in terms of covering our receivers when their defensive line didn't get home, and we are not facing the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line this week. Although, after the Titans game, I don't want to count anybody out. But
yeah, I was just gonna say it seems like, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, they are not able to stop deep passes, deep passes, because we're only allowing 174.2 yards of passing per game, and they're allowing 252.9 yards. That's substantial.
That's a lot.
That's substantial. That's even more yards than we throw per game.
Yeah,
offensively. And we're 7th in the NFL at 245 yards. So I feel like that's
well, the Steelers had a pretty bad pass defense last week, and that did not go well.
Right, exactly. And because we're, as you said, we're stacked with receivers, right? So it's I think it's going to be fun to see Herbo using that arm. Not that he hasn't been, but he's, I'm excited to see that.
And I think it's all the more reason to keep hitting them with 11 personnel in the run game. Because if you're gonna go at that strength, at least have them thinking about defending the pass. But I'm excited to see if they're having trouble with deep passes. I'm excited to see what Q can do. I'm excited to see what Ladd can do. And Keandre's been injured, but Trey Harris has been having a nice few games. He's an elite separator down the field. He might be in for making a play this week. Yeah. Yep. So we'll have to see, but I'm not getting my hopes up. And again, maybe my intuition is wrong. I've been wrong before.
They might use Keenan more too. I mean, I think Keenan's been kind of in the background, which is I actually think it's good for him. Nice.
But he's made every play that he needs to. Oh, and we didn't even get to the most important thing. Keenan broke the all-time Chargers receptions. Keenan broke the all-time Chargers receptions record.
That's right.
Wow! Congratulations, Keenan.
Off a pop, like
off a pop pass. Yeah. But why not? Who cares? Whatever, it counts. They don't ask how, they ask how many. And in Keenan's case, his answer is more than anybody else.
That's right. It was great to see, though. I found it really funny that they just popped it to him. I don't even know if they were. I'm sure they were thinking about it, and they knew that he needed 2 passes to beat the record. And when they only used it, there was that 1/3 in Keenan in the second half. In the second half as well, like third quarter, and then a quarter later, he finally broke. Yeah,
they got the little pop pass. Yeah, why not? Right? Counts.
Everything counts, bro.
I think it's time to move on to that other sport where people break all-time receptions records. I'm of course talking about cricket.
Nice.
Go, Chargers, go, Chargers, go, 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 go.
Who even plays cricket, bro?
I mean, I am looking at least 2 people on my screen who I've seen play cricket before.
Okay, tell me, what do you got to talk about? Because I don't have much, except for the fact that India beat the shit. Except for the fact that India beat the heck out of Australia.
You can say India beat the shit out of Australia. It's good, but there was only one more T20I. Like Australia, nobody. I'll tell you what this has been the year of, and that is goddamn no results. The IPL, tons of no results. The Women's World Cup, tons of no results. Right? I think that the Champions Trophy had a bunch of no results. Maybe the WPL avoided the no results. There's already been a no result in the WBBL.
I know the IPL had no results too.
There were like 5 of them, and especially as the season dragged on, like every city was just rained out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been the year of no results, and honestly, no results tied India for the series win.
No result. We won. It was 2-1, right?
Yeah, but there were 2 no results, so no results tied India.
Oh, I see.
So I wonder if India will play no results.
In the final. It's always, dude. No result always wins.
India has to play against Duckworth, Lewis, and Stern themselves.
Yeah. No, nobody can play against DLS, bro. They're goated. They're OP.
Oh my god, the most impact players of all.
I did think that either way, I think we would have won the third T20. India would have won the third T20. The way we were going, we were like 90 for no loss or something crazy like that.
It wasn't an easy pitch. Like, nobody really there weren't really any that great batting innings. Like, it seemed like it was an absolute slog.
Yes, it did look tough. It did look tough for the fourth T20.
You look at that scorecard, and it's like they were pitch fixing for a low score.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's why I was like, they really struggled to get to 160. Like, India struggled to get to 167. And that
Australia were all out.
Yeah, 119.
Yeah.
Like, there was a late flourish from Akshar Patel with the bat for India. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten there. And again,
with the ball, he had 2 for 20.
2 for 20, yeah. He was the best bowler. Bumrah was good. Arshdeep was great. Chakravarti was good. Washington Sundar just cleaned up, dude.
3 wickets and
3 for
8 balls. What a boss. I gotta watch those highlights. I didn't see that, but I was like, damn, that's
dude.
nuts.
I talked about this last podcast or 2 podcasts ago. Like, why would you not use him as a bowler? You're using Shivam Dube, but you're not using Sundar. And look what happens. Someone's listening to this podcast. I'm telling you, it's got to be Jay.
It's got to be Jay Shaw. It's got to be. He's evaluating us for our meeting. Sorry. So maybe I need to dress a little nicer next time. Jay, I just got a cashmere sweater, so maybe I'll wear that next time.
I think he's okay with the KKR jersey because he keeps making us win the IPL.
I'm not wearing a KKR jersey now, am I? And I'm not we are not doing LA Knight Riders until the season is over. I'm not bringing those vibes into this podcast until the season is over.
But I love that jersey, bro. The jersey is sick.
It sure is sick. It's just when I see it win a game, more than one game per year.
Yeah,
you know. Maybe
I'll say this always happens to Knight Riders franchises, bro. We always start off really bad, and then we just randomly win one season, and then everything changes.
Okay. Well, I'll hopefully I keep waiting for, is this our year to win 2 games? So we'll see if it's next year. I'll tell you what. Speaking of Shivam Dube, you will recall maybe it was a month and a half, 2 months ago, I was discussing on this podcast and on TikTok some trade rumors involving Shivam Dube and a certain wicketkeeper, captain of the Rajasthan Royals.
Yes, double S.
Yes, and there are some big rumors about double S that don't involve Shivam Dube. The 3 players that RR has for Sanju Samson were Jadeja, Gaikwad, or Shivam Dube. And CSK inexplicably looked at those 3 players and said, let's trade for Ravindra Jadeja.
Wait, what?
Yes, they apparently agreed to trade Jadeja and Sam Curran to Rajasthan for Sanju Samson.
What?
And all I have to say is, like, am I the only one who thinks this is a really shit deal for CSK?
No.
Apparently it is on hold, but I'm like, they offered you Shivam Dube for Sanju Samson and you didn't, like, hit them over the head trying to say yes?
That's actually unbelievable. Why would you? Wow.
Like, I think it's real enough that people who have, like, it's not just random sites in India that always speculate about this shit that are writing about it. Like, it's like,
no, this is legitimate. This is real. Yeah. The expression of interest has officially been initiated by both teams to the Board of Control for Cricket in India, but it hasn't been approved yet.
I don't think it will. There's purse issues. They have to release somebody else in order to get Sam Curran. RR do not have 2.4 crores of purse space to bring in Sam Curran. They would have to release somebody else or trade somebody else.
It's not even that. It's the fact that there's a quota.
And foreign players too.
Foreign players. That's the main hurdle, which is that because Rajasthan, I think, are capped at their overseas quota, and if you're bringing Sam Curran into the team, you got to get rid of somebody. So we'll see if the trade goes through. And no, I think you're right. There's also a purse. You're right. They only have 30 lakhs left in their purse, and Curran is valued at 2.4 crores. Although I thought Samson's salary, which is way too much.
3 crores too many.
Samson's salary?
No, for Sam Curran. Honestly, it's probably 2.4 crores too many.
Yeah. But what is Samson's salary is like somewhere like insane. What is it? It's
It's big.
It's 18 crores.
Yeah, because they
what is
retained
Jadeja's?
him. They retained him. Jadeja too, because they retained both of them. They're
Oh,
like
so
capped
it is
Indians.
right. It's
They're
a like for
capped
like.
Indians that were retained before the mega auction.
Maybe I'm too much of a pro Jadeja guy, but I honestly think a Jadeja for Samson trade is a crazy good deal for Rajasthan as is.
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
you
yeah.
add Sam Curran for basically free. I mean, 2.4 crores isn't anything, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make the purse space.
You know
It's
how I
like
feel about
18
Sam Curran. I think that's a minus against every other team other than Punjab Kings. I think Sam Curran is garbage, and I think that salary. Well, but why would you do a salary dump in the IPL? You can just release the guy. Like,
Yeah.
why would you say so? I do not understand this at all.
Because the other rule of the IPL is that if a player asks for a pay hike after a trade, so let's say Curran asks for 3 crores now at Rajasthan, CSK is on the hook for half of that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which is an insane rule. I don't know if that happens in other sports, but that's an insane rule.
Nothing in other sports they have players unions and you cannot release people like that. But the other thing, the only thing I thought about here that I'm like maybe this is why they would do it is that Sanju Samson is 30 years old and Jadeja is 36. But this is not the NFL. These guys Jadeja's body is not going to break down like that. He's not a pace bowler. He's probably got max 6 to 8 more years in him, if not more.
He may only play for another 4, but yeah.
But he's going to play in the IPL, international cricket. Sure, he could retire, but he's going to play in the IPL for as long. We see everybody plays in the IPL forever.
Yeah.
Right? He will play in the IPL as long as he possibly can. Yes. And so I think that, and besides, this is a league with mega auctions. This is a league with a ton of, disruption and all of this stuff. You're not talking about something like baseball or football where you have a bunch of player control over somebody that's young like that. You get a lot of value in getting a guy that's so young. And I mean, Sanju Samson's 30. He's not so young compared to 36. He's so young. But that's the only thing that I can see that makes this make sense at all. Jadeja, I would have thought that he would be given a life contract with CSK and they'd be hooking him up with a bunch of no-show jobs so they could pay him 4 crores like Dhoni.
This is what I'm saying. I was gonna bring up Dhoni because I don't know. I feel like CSK is overthinking why they're losing. If you're offloading Jadeja and Sam Curran and you think maybe Samson is gonna solve all our problems, no. CSK right now can make any good player look bad. You need to get rid of Dhoni. You need to get rid of Dhoni and get a really I guess Samson is their Dhoni replacement.
I'll give you one name that explains all they're losing. You're absolutely right that they're overthinking it. It's not Dhoni. You know who it is? Deepak Hooda.
And the fact that he is the Lone Ranger for why CSK won any games last year, besides the fact of that. No, yeah, I mean, I think there's I mean, they need to offload people who aren't doing anything.
I also think they're underrating the effect of not having their captain for almost all of last year.
Yeah.
They're underrating Ayush Matre for sure. And the fact that him and Rutu are going to be in the same squad next year, they're underrating the fact that they got a star opener totally for free. Right? Whatever. You know what? We don't like to see them win championships anyway. So if they're gonna just intentionally decide to suck, who are we to stop them? We said this about Jerry Jones earlier in the year. Right?
You want to hear but you want to hear something insane, and I feel like it's a little corrupt. I love you, Jay, but. Recently, the BCCI instated a rule where retired players can be considered uncapped, which is unbelievable. Okay? Anyway, as a result, Dhoni's new contract is a
30 lakhs?
3-year deal for 4 crores. 3-year deal.
All right. You want to finish up cricket? I have one more thing in cricket I want to talk about.
I have nothing to talk about. All you, bro.
the WBBL,
Let's do it.
which seems like it seems like an awesome league. I'm bummed there's only one Indian playing this year, and that's Shamima Rodriguez.
Best one of the best ones.
One of the but like, you know, we don't have Harmanpreet has played in the past. Smriti, I don't know if podcast protagonist freedom fighter Sneh Rana has played in the WBBL, but
She has. Of course she has.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because if not, they have no taste, and quite frankly, should be wrecked and bodied. I mean, they should be wrecked and bodied for not having her this year, but you know, it is what it is. I know that scheduling conflicts come up. You know,
Oh my gosh, she hasn't.
She might have had some freedom fighting to do.
She has not played in the WBBL.
I can't believe that.
Wow.
No taste. L Cricket Australia. L. I am not looking kind of dumb with my finger and my thumb in the shape of an L on my forehead. God damn, my opinion of the WBBL has just been hurt. But it does seem like a pretty fun league with a lot of good players that I enjoy watching. So any matches that don't start at silly o'clock, which sadly is not enough of them. Like that honestly is the biggest problem with the BBL, is that if you live in America, all of the matches start at silly o'clock, basically. Right? It's like 12:10 in LA, 3:10 in New York. Like, you're just cooked. You might be able, like, if you're waking up extra early, you can watch that one in New York. But I'm not waking up, like, as much as I adore women's cricket, I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. for any cricket match that does not involve the Punjab Kings. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I honestly don't even watch like Indian cricket matches that late because there's just so many of them. But the IPL only happens once a year for like 3 months.
Yeah.
There's only 14 games that I get to enjoy.
No.
Yeah.
But I think that there are some WBBL matches that start at like there are some that are like earlier in the day that start at reasonable times. I think there's one tomorrow on at like 8:40, so I'm gonna try and watch that. That one should be fun. But yeah, the WBBL, I can't remember who's in first.
The Melbourne Renegades.
Wow. 2 wins from 2. Look at that. I think they have a documentary series being made about them too that's airing on Willow TV that I haven't been able to watch yet. But most teams, like a bunch of teams, haven't played 2 games. My stacked Sydney Sixers, dude. Sydney Sixers have Elise Perry, Ash Gardner, Dunkley, and Amelia Kerr, and then a bunch of other people I've never heard of. But like, that's a stacked team, bro.
That is exactly. Maybe that's the team I go for.
Dude, Sydney Sixers. That's my team. That's my team.
Is it?
Yeah, that's my team in the men's BBL, and so I'm gonna root for them in the women's BBL too.
Okay.
I mean, I would root for PBKS if they had them in the WPL, but they fucking don't.
Well, they have the PS, Perth Scorchers.
But no, it's not the same.
I would appreciate if they did the same thing in the women's IPL, like the women's Premier League, where they had like KKR women and like whatever. But okay, whatever.
They only have that for a couple of teams.
Yeah.
But I will say I like a lot of the uniforms for, like, I like the Gujarat Giants and the UP Warriors uniforms, even though they're not, like, you know, the
UP Warriors, really? I feel like that they're like they have the worst uniform.
Really? I think they're kind of interesting. Like, they do look too much like the Lakers.
It's like off yellow. It's like a worse version of the Lakers uniform, in fact.
Whatever. At least they're inventive. The Gujarat Giants have a good uniform.
That's so interesting you say that because oh no, it's different for the. Interesting. Yeah, the Gujarat Giants have a nice one for the women. For the men, not so much.
The Gujarat Titans. You don't like the Gujarat Titans uniform?
The Gujarat Giants are the women's Premier League team.
Yes, but the Gujarat
Titans, I don't
the
like.
men's team you don't like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the uniform. It's just like navy blue, bro.
Oh, the UP Warriors have an alternate uniform. That's what it is. Their alternate uniform is really nice. It's it's yellow with like this like sort of like off pink.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, I think I disagree with you.
Fair enough.
It kind of looks like the RR alternate too, because you remember RR did that kind of like all pink alternate, that all magenta alternate.
And you like that as well, I'm sure, because I didn't like it.
I didn't like it as much as this.
Okay, good. I accept that.
Also, just because it was less inventive, right? The UP Warriors have a much different uniform from this usually, whereas the Rajasthan one was almost exactly the same.
Yes.
I actually really like the Gujarat Titans alternate as well, the white one, because I thought that was really interesting and inventive as well. That they did for like cancer awareness.
Mm-hmm.
That one was really cool. You know who else has strong opinions about WPL uniforms, Ariane?
Who?
A certain World Series champion. A certain two-time, two-way World Series champion. Who will be appearing on this podcast next week. So make sure you tune in for that. He is, of course, our favorite all-rounder, Mr. Shohei Ohtani. So, for Ariane Ori, Dante Jackson, and everybody else associated with the NFL's 4077th team, my name is Nick Cates. And I'm saying, well...
I've got so much to say and so little time to say it. Great job, everybody. Who's got it better than us?